Hey guys, welcome back to Hendrickson Family Farm. Today is officially the last day of hay season. We went and grabbed the 2030 John Deere tractor and the M&W 1500 baler, brought them back to the house. The M&W baler most likely will be leaving. My little sister is interested in a baler. And they only have I don't remember exactly how many cows they have. They have a cow-calf little operation deal, and they're only going to be baling for themselves. Well, as much hay as we baled this year, I'm going to get a bigger baler, and the John Deere 2030 tractor may be going as well, because we've been looking at tractors with cabs, so we'll see how that goes. We've also been looking for a new truck. Some of you guys may have watched the previous video. It talked about I talked about the wreck in it. A lady just cut out in front of me. She didn't stop at a stop sign, and I T-boned her. I didn't have a stop sign or a traffic light or anything. They assumed liability already, so that is a plus. So we'll make it a little bit faster and stuff for the insurance. We also, while we were looking at trucks, we ran into some people that raise pigs. So we may have found a new place to get some more feeder pigs, because the people that we normally get them from, they've been out of them for a while. So we've been trying to get feeder pigs, because we do have quite a few people interested in feeder pigs, and everybody's feeding right now. We have to wean our little foals from this year. Yeah, they are 4 months old. For you guys that have followed along with this pretty much since the beginning of the foals. But the reason why we are doing it is because the vet recommended it, because they're growing too fast. So they said that we need to go ahead and wean the babies, just because they're just growing too fast, because their moms are real good mamas. So that's one thing that we're actually doing that today. That's what my wife is out there. I'll kind of try to show you. They're putting them up right now, and then the mares will go in there to eat at night like normal, but the little fillies will get put in a stall. Some people wonder if it's cost effective to cut your own hay, bale your own hay. It is not cost effective all the time. Now, with that being said, it can be. When we first moved back to my hometown, this is where I grew up at, it was not cost effective for me to go buy the equipment at the beginning to cut and bale our own hay. So there was some compromise that my wife and I had to do in order for us to get the stuff to and bale our own hay. One of the things that made it work for us to get hay was because we owned the property, and there are a bunch of custom balers. And that, when I say custom baler, I'm talking about the guys that go out and they bale and cut hay for money. There's also other ways that they do it. They do it on shares, where they get a portion of the hay and you get a portion of the hay. It's not a 50-50 split, just because it's just never been that way, and I don't know anyone that does a 50-50 split on custom baling. I know I'm probably going to get some hate for grilling with charcoal in this smoker, but this thing is not like a store-bought smoker. It is a smoker that my grandpa and I made whenever I was younger. I was probably 10, 12 years old. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but it's not like the smokers that you buy it's not like the smokers you buy at your big box stores. When you have property and you need it baled and you try to call a custom baler and you want to keep some of the hay, or if you want to keep all the hay, you'll just tell them, hey, I want this place baled. They'll tell you the rate for what they are baling around your area, because it varies. Actually, around my area, it's really high for some of the people that do baling. I am really good friends with quite a few of the guys that do custom baling. If you need somebody to do custom baling and you're around the Glencoe Stillwater area, shoot me a comment and I'll send you a couple guys' phone numbers. They're great. I do some, just enough just to kind of pay for the equipment that I do, but I'm not doing custom baling full time. I don't have the equipment to do that. Because those guys, they have new tractors, new swathers, new rakes, and big nice balers. I have just enough stuff to do it and to do it well. Generally, whenever you're trying to keep some of the hay, you can ask the custom balers if they do shares. If some of them do shares, how they generally do that, at least in our area, they'll do 2/3 will go to the baler, and then 1/3 of it will go to the landowner. That's the common practice around here, and as far as I know, that is pretty well a standard across the board. So if you have 30 acres or 20 acres or 10 acres you want baled, you're only going to get 1/3 of it if you do it on shares. If you want to keep all of it, they're going to have you pay per bale to bale it. And some, I've heard in other states where they charge you to cut it and then they charge you to bale it. It evens out to about the same as just a blanketed price like what we have around here. And don't settle with the first guy that you call. Call a couple of them and see, and make sure, ask them for references. A lot of them have, really good customers that they've done. And then I actually ran into a friend of mine asked me to cut and bale his place this year. So I went and cut and baled it, and he told me I could have all the hay. But I ended up giving him his 2/3, that way he could sell his 1/3, I'm sorry. That way he could sell his portion of the hay, and maybe he could, I think he ended up with like 16 bales or 15 bales. I can't remember exactly. But then he was able to make a little bit of a profit off of his hay as well. So he's making money off of his property, and then I can come in and I can bale it, and then I kept all of the other hay. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're looking for someone to bale hay. Now, as far as, is it cost effective for you to go out and buy brand new equipment to bale your own hay? When I said yes and no, it just varies on the type of equipment you buy. Now, if you buy a tractor like this, and then you have to have a baler that is small enough to be pulled by a 2030 tractor, which is 68 horsepower. So you're probably going to need a 4x5 baler to be able to run it. Most balers require a set of hydraulic remotes. So it's something that you need to look at whenever you're buying a tractor. Make sure they have a set of hydraulic remotes. So you'll have a lever for the 3-point, and then this lever here runs the set of remotes here. And that's to open the door on your baler. I've baled quite a bit of hay just because I did grow up in this type of environment. So I have baled a lot of hay. So I knew what I was looking for whenever I was looking. So that's one thing that I can't say enough. I see a lot of guys, they'll go out and they'll buy a John Deere 535 baler, and then they'll get a tractor like this to pull it. Now, could the 2030 pull a 535 baler? Yes, it could pull a 535 baler, but to get the maximum amount of power out of the baler, you're going to need 75 horsepower as a minimum. When you're looking for a tractor, have a baler in mind so you can match your tractor to your baler, or have a tractor in mind and match your baler to your tractor. It don't matter which order you do that in, it's just doing it in a good order. Don't just get them blindly. And make sure you go online, read a bunch of reviews about the equipment. It's important to make an informed decision when you're spending that kind of money. Now, if you go out and you buy a brand new tractor with cab, AC, and heater, front end loader, can you still make money baling? Well, yeah, you can if that's your only new purchase. Now, if you go out and you buy a brand new tractor, you buy a brand new baler, you buy a brand new hay rake, you buy a brand new disc mower of some sort, or some sort of mower, you're not going to make money for a couple years if you're just doing it as your own farm. It's not cost effective to do it that way. I'll kind of give you a little rundown. I think I have about $8,000 in that tractor. And in the square baler, I know it's not put up out of the weather, but we haven't had any rain in like 4 months. So after I got done baling, if we would have had a chance of rain, I would have parked it in the barn. But in the baler, I think I have $300, $400, and then I've done some little repairs to it here and there. So get something that you can work on. And if people say, oh, I can't work on anything, well, that's not true. You can't be a farmer. You can, but you're gonna be a broke farmer if you get equipment and you can't work on it. Especially when you get into these newer tractors, they're just so expensive to work on. Like rebuilding the hydraulic pump. If you guys go back and watch the video of the hydraulic pump, there's not a whole lot to it. It's just taking the initiative to tear it apart and put it back together. It's important that you have that want to, not necessarily the ability. A lot of times want to will trump ability, because you may have the know-how, but if you don't have the want to fix it, it's just going to sit there. But that's just a little thing that my grandpa always told me. He always said want to will beat ability 9 times out of 10, because if you want to succeed at anything you do, you're more than capable of it. You just have to have that push to do it, and not necessarily someone pushing you, but it's that drive, the willpower to I'm going to succeed. There we go. I'm going to succeed. And that's something that you have to try to instill in your kids at a young age, that you can do anything you want to do as long as you work hard for what you're doing. The M&W baler that you seen earlier in the video is the round baler that I use. I think I have like $3,500 in that baler. I did have some repairs on the baler, so that's with the repairs, that's about what I have in the baler, is about 3,500 bucks. First job that I went to with it, we made our money back, or I made my money back on the baler, and it wasn't even a job we were getting paid to do. A lady wanted the property cleaned off, and my buddy, he brush hogged it, or was starting to brush hog it, and then he calls me and says, hey, they just want this stuff brush hogged off of here, and they really don't want it to be left on the ground. And he's like, do you think we can cut and bale it? And I was like, well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. So we ended up cutting and baling that thing, and I think we ended up with just under 400 bales. So, and bales of hay around here sell anywhere from $35 a bale to $40 a bale. It's just what people around here are giving for them. In order for me to be able to buy a new round baler, I had to be able to justify that I was newer. I'm not buying a brand new one, but I had to justify to myself that, yeah, I can go bale enough hay where I can pay for it and it be justifiable. I look at a payback period for myself. That's how I justify something. So with the tractor, we have to use it to put hay out in the wintertime. We have to use it for brush hogging around the property, the ditches and things like that. So that's an easy item for me to be able to justify. The baler, I started out with the square baler when we bought this place, and the first year I think I did like 1,500 square bales, and I sold them for $4 a piece out of the field. And the first 2 loads of hay that I sold off of the place paid for the round or the square baler, and then we kept 300-400 back for us for the winter time, and then the rest of it I sold. So I had a pretty good profit off of the square baler. This is our 3rd year using the square baler, and it's still making me money. And I haven't had to do a lot to it. It's a 224 WS square baler. Yeah, would I love to have a newer one? Oh, absolutely. But it works. I don't have any problems with it. Well, guys, thanks for coming along with us today at the farm. We went and picked up the tractor. We kind of talked about the horses separating the looked a little crooked to me. Is that better? We kind of talked about weaning the foals, and whether or not it's feasible for you to buy your own equipment to bale hay with.